Okay, so leo topic ya leo ni why most relationships don't work, alright? So the first reason I'd say, obviously ya kwanza inakuanga ni cheating. So most relationships don't work because people don't stop cheating, alright? Tunapata mtu ametoka kwa, probably ametoka kuwa single, amedecide sawa, huu ndo mtu nataka kusettle down na yeye, and then they end up cheating. And even jana as I was in the live show, nilikuwa najiuliza, why do people cheat? Ama why, like mimi personally, kama nishai cheat before, why did I cheat? Naona kama una realize by the way inakuwa tu ni tamaa. Hakuna like haikuangi sometimes ati ni partner wako amekufanyia kitu. Yaani partner wako wako tu sawa lakini umejipata tu umecheat. Sometimes it's because ni tamaa tu mingi. You're just greedy. You just want that person, you want that person. Hautaki kusettle down uamue uko na huyu mse, So people stop cheating when they get to that point where they decide, now I'm going to be loyal with one person. So you have to make that decision. But you need the first reason why most relationships don't work. The other reason ni juu there is lack of honesty, okay? Like hakuna wase hawako truthful to each other. They are not genuine. So you find wase wameingia relationship for different reasons, but you see because they are hiding it, unapata hiyo relationship yote inakuwa ni scam, okay? Maybe mtu amekuja kwa hii relationship because either they want the money, ama amekuja kwa hii relationship because either they want the status, anataka kusemekana kama ni chali, anataka kusemekana akona dem rembo, kama ni dem anataka kusemekana akona chali mwenye akona pesa. So you see there is lack of honesty of why are we going into a relationship in the first place, okay? So hiyo ni reason nyingine. The other reason why most relationships don't work, you find that some people are over dependent on their partner, either for happiness, ama for money, ama for just doing, like uko so over dependent on your partner and you're forgetting your partner is still a person. Kuna vitu zenye akiona ni too much atakani kama anajitoa kwa hiyo story. So if anyone gets to that point and feel like the relationship is overburdening them, hakuna mtu ataendelea na hiyo relationship. So that's why you find at the end of the day wase tu wanaachana. Kwa nini? Because ana feel una overburden. Either unakama hapo na expectations mingi, ama unakama hapo na demands mingi, ama unakama hapo na too much drama, too much pressure. You're putting pressure on them and they really don't want to live up to your standard. Hawataki ku live up to your pressures, okay? So you find somebody calls it quits and decide, hii relationship inanipea stress bure. That's also can be another reason. Sometimes people are stressed out when they are in relationships, okay? Either because they are drama, either because they are arguments every other day. Unapata mtu meanziana vizuri, already ashaanza kuwa toxic. You never knew this person could be toxic. Already ushaanza kuona that toxic side of them. So it's very important for you to understand that the reason why a relationship will fail is because first of all, umeanza kutoa your true characters. So by the time mlikuwa mnaongea the first month, the second month, huyu mse hakuwa amekujua. But by the time maybe you are getting to the third month, una realize, na umse anakuanga na kaujinga fulani, ama umse anakuanga na ka weirdness fulani Kenya anakuanga nako, okay? So it's crazy. So you find the more mnaendelea kujuana, because you are not honest, because you are not genuine in the first place, unapata the more mtu anaendelea kukujua, the more anaanza kukudespise, the more anaanza kufeel why am I even in this relationship to begin with, okay? Hiyo ni reason nyingine why most relationships are not working. The other thing could be excess interference. Unapata these people wenye wanasemanga ati mimi bado tunaongeana na ex wangu. Of course that person is going to interfere with your relationship, current relationship. Why? Because now you're trying to bring your past into the present. And let me tell you, ex mwenye amekataa kutoka kwa maisha yako, ameinsist anataka kubaki kwa maisha yako, huyo ni mse mwenye hakutaki vizuri. You might think that this person still cares about you, nini. That person doesn't really care about you, so ijidanganya. And never be too naive to think huyu mse anasikia vizuri ukiwa na mtu mwingine. Of course hasikii vizuri, especially kama ameishi kusema siturudiane, by this we try this thing again. If it's somebody who's been consistent in saying to try this again, and then maybe when unakataa ama you are hesitant, you need to know huyo ni mtu, the first person who will not want to see you in a relationship. So anytime unaingia kwa relationship yako tu hapo kando na wish to relationship break, okay? And anytime you run to them, they are always the first person kukwambia achana na huyo mse hata hako standard yako nini. So atakujaza na thoughts zenye haziko, okay? And maybe the person that you are with is actually a good person, but you need to know and understand, si kila mtu, hakuna mtu anakuanga perfect. So you choose to overlook the things, ama una choose kubear with the things that zenye unaona they are a shortfall for this person, because hata wewe hauko perfect, okay? And that could be maybe another reason that you think you expect to go into a relationship that will be perfect. So anytime you have a small argument, anytime unaona mna face ka challenge kidogo, you're willing to leave that relationship, you're willing to not work on that relationship. And the reason for that could be maybe uko na very high expectations for what a relationship could be. Unasahau you two are still human beings, okay? And nyinyi ni imperfect. You are imperfect people coming together to try and create something that is perfect. So usidhani ati huyu partner wako ni perfect. Hata yeye atakuwa na makosa zake, hata yeye atakuwa na zile siku zenye ana act weirdly, atakuwa na zile siku maybe hata aski kukuongelesha, but you really have to bear with it and actually know, okay, so what is my limit? Sawa, najua umse si perfect, but how much imperfection can I deal with? Okay, hiyo ndo swali unafaa kujiuliza. So the reason why most relationships won't work is because people are not having open conversations. Hamuongelelei the fact that, you know, hamu have conversation ya manze hiki tunafanyanga manze mi hai, it doesn't sit well with me. And the reason for that is because most relationships people are just walking on eggshells. Hutaki kusema kitu ita offend huyu mtu mwingine, na juu hutaki kusema kitu ita offend huyu mtu mwingine, you keep carrying those burdens. So kila siku una bottle up, you're bottling up things, you're not talking about them. Ile siku inakuja kulipuka hadi partner wako anashindwa, na niaje uje niambia, how come you never make any comment? Okay, reason nyingine inafanya relationship isi work is the point where people get to that point where they are rushing into a relationship. So you are not yet hauja set mind yako. You see, for you to go into a relationship and for the relationship to work, lazima ukue psychologically set. Lazima ukue willing kujua, okay, naingia kwa hii relationship, maybe this is what is expected of me, and this could be a conversation between you and your partner. But because bado hauja set it in your mind or in your heart that by then you could settle down, for you you're in a relationship but you're still acting like you are single. So when you are with your friends, you're still acting like you are single. When they remind you every time, wewe unajua kuna mtu, wewe unajua wewe ni mtu where, you know, like you're in a relationship, it's almost like for you ni kama hakuna kitu kama hiyo, okay? So it's almost like you're living in that imaginary world where you think you can survive to be in a relationship and can survive to be single. Iyo hai make sense, okay? So the reason it won't work obviously is because you are not ready to settle. Sasa juu hauko ready to settle, wewe umekimbia ku settle down and you're not ready to settle. And sometimes I don't blame people because unapatanga sometimes it's the partner mwenye anapush hiyo agenda sana, okay? And me personally nime experience, you find a lady atakupush, you know, some will even give you like watakupea restrictions, watakwambia ujemie can't come, I can't go to a guy's place kama we are not in a relationship, we can't do this and this if you are not in a relationship. So because umekewa hizo vikwazo mingi, unaenda kuingia kwa relationship not because you love this person to that extent, but because you want to enjoy certain benefits. So you are like, ni relationship tu, unasema sawa tuingie kwa relationship. The next day ushamwambia, can you be my what and what and what? Una get? So it becomes toxic when you realize uliingia relationship for a different reason, and this other person entered the relationship thinking that this was actually a serious thing. So one of you is going to end up hurt, one of you is going to end up getting out of the relationship, and that relationship won't work. The other reason inaweza kuwa the fact that people nowadays, unapata most people don't have emotional intelligence. Hiyo inamaanisha nini? You don't care for your partner's emotions. Ama huangalii unasema, hizi vitu naambia huyu partner wangu, are they affecting them negatively ama positively? You're always there talking about their insecurities. You're always there trying to demean them. You're always there trying to remind them, unajua wewe hata unaga pesa nini. So because of those things and what we say, and you know, zile words zenye tunasemanga, they can be so hurtful to the extent where unaweza lower self-esteem ya msi hata bila kujua. So you guys are dating sawa, but you are lowering the self-esteem of your partner bila hata wewe kujua. So that relationship won't work, because eventually huyu mse atafika point aseme enough is enough. They can't continue to be in a relationship with you because you are demeaning them, you are lowering their self-esteem, and that's the point inafikanga hata mse unapata ali cheat. Why? Because they just wanted somebody who would show them genuine love. So unapata partner wako ali cheat not because they wanted to, but because uliwapush to the extent where they almost like wakaanza kujichukia, and because walianza kujichukia, they wanted somebody who would show them that love and attention. All right? Another reason why a relationship don't work squeezy, ama why some relationships don't work, you get to the point where you realize some people are not hurt. I mean, some people have not healed from their heart. So you find, and wanasemanga hurt people, all right? So somebody who is hurt ametoka kwa relationship, and then 1 week later, 2 weeks later ako in another relationship, 1 month later ameingia relationship ingine, of course you are going to hurt on this other person. Wanasemanga you start bleeding on them. So because umetoka i relationship ingine with a wound, you were cut so many times, you start bleeding on this other person, and then this other person anakuwa naye anakuwa hurt. Mkiacha, by the time mnaachana, hata yanaenda na hurt mtu mwingine. So you see, it's a whole cycle of just people hurting each other. But it's important for you to understand, kama hujamaliza kuheal, let's say you've gotten out from a broken relationship, jipe time, okay? Give yourself time, even if it's a month, maybe 2 months, just give yourself time. Try to go through everything. Try to forgive yourself for being in that relationship, for being in that situation, before you can move into another relationship, so that usiende hapo na so much hurt, na so much emotional baggage. Because you can go there with emotional baggage thinking that this person can heal you, ama this person will help you process everything that happened, and then una realize pia yeye hana hiyo nguvu, hana hiyo strength, hana hiyo mental capacity ya kuweza kukuaccommodate. So you find even for them ana end up naye ku break up naye. Ni mara ngapi unasikianga ati dem anasema, ama mtu anasema nimetoka relationship nika heartbreakiwa, ameingia relationship ingine aka heartbreakiwa, in almost a span of 1 month 2 months ame heartbreakiwa mara mbili. So what does that tell you? You're not giving yourself time to heal. So heal first before you can go into another relationship, okay?